Today, we had the most disconcerting Costco adventure that you will ever believe. And I'm still sitting here thinking, I don't know if I even believe what just happened today. But anyway, so we were at Costco doing our regular Costco run, picking up our staples that we normally get. And, we've been talking about doing a no-buy year. And so that's gotten us very conscious of things that we're purchasing. And one of the things that we were purchasing at Costco was our collagen proteins that we put in our smoothie every morning. And my husband's like, ooh, is it cost effective for us to do the collagen powder, protein powder in our smoothies? So I was trying to calculate, well, how long do these last, et cetera. But anyway, I was looking at the collagen protein ingredients list and serving sizes and was trying to do some calculations as they were loading up the car. And my youngest son would take, I say my youngest son, he's the youngest of the twins. He always is the one that takes the shopping cart bag. So he did that, and we got in the car. We get about 3 or 4 miles away from Costco on our way home, and my watch gives me an alert that I left my iPad behind. And so I panicked. And I'm telling you, we turned around, and if you are in a situation like this, you better believe every red light in town is going to stop you, because that's what happened to us. Luckily, my husband was using my phone, and he said, okay, it's in the parking lot. It's showing still in the parking lot. And, it updates every few minutes. Well, we get closer and closer to the Costco. He goes, oh no, it's moving. But it looks like it's moving towards the store. It looks like it's moving to the front of the store. And so, I'm trying to drive, and I'm trying not to panic. And we get to Costco, and he said, it shows it's still in the store. So we go, maybe one of the buggy people, they collected the buggies. We did check the buggy carousel, and y'all call them shopping carts maybe, but we call them buggies here. But the shopping cart carousel, my son put it in, he looked, and it was empty. So they had taken the carts in. And so we go running into the Costco, and we checked with one of the service desks, the lost and found. They told us where the lost and found was. We checked with them. No one had turned one in. Well, my husband was still showing it on my phone. He said it's still pinging inside the store. And so we go walking into the store, and we're looking at every shopping cart because it was in where the kids sit. I just had laid it down in the seat portion. Oh my goodness. And at one point, we were in the clothes section, and it looked like we were right on top of where the iPad was. And I looked around, I checked every shopping cart in that vicinity, and I even made one of the workers nervous that was folding clothes because she was kind of wondering what I was doing. But I didn't say anything to her, but I looked at all the people's carts that were in that vicinity, and we didn't see it. And at that point, we were like, okay, we've done checked everybody that was going by. Well, with Costco, there's only one way in and one way out. So we decided to go up to the very front at the exit and stand there and kind of watch and just see when they came past us. And we were there for an hour. I'm telling you, we were watching for people to come out. And at one point, it looked like the iPad was sitting at the cash registers, but it was sitting there. It sat there for at least 30 minutes, half of the time that we were looking for it. And I'm like, maybe somebody turned it into the cashiers. And so I started walking down, and I asked several of the cashiers if somebody had turned one in. No, nobody had turned one in. And I checked with the lost and found again. No one had turned it in because it had been sitting there. Well, I go back to my husband and I said, well, I don't know. It's still sitting there. Right about that time, it starts moving and it goes right past us. I said, Terry, it's going outside. Whoever has it is leaving now. But we had checked every shopping cart as they were walking past us and no one had it in there. So we get outside and we could tell that they are underneath the pavilion where the shopping carts are. And so we looked around, didn't see it. Then it started moving. I said, it's going to the parking lot. It's going to the parking lot. So we start following it. And we followed it all the way, like 4 rows into the parking lot. And we're like running. And when we get to the aisle that it showed it, there was only one person loading their car. And it was a little elderly lady. And she saw we approach her and said, hey, did you find an iPad? Well, my son said, I thought it was really strange when she closed the trunk and she still had a cake in her shopping cart. And she goes, oh, yeah, I found it because she was, I think, Asian descent, seemed very sweet. She said, I turned it into on the front desk. And being a naive little me was like, oh, okay, which front desk? Because there was 2. There's the where you get the membership, and then there's the one where the lost and found is. Oh, and my husband started suspecting something. And so he stood behind the car, and he goes, what lady did you turn it into? And she goes, oh, no, I don't know. It was very busy. It was just a lady. And at that point, my husband's starting to think, I'm not thinking because I am so stressed and the stress hormones are like raging in me that, okay, if she turned it into the front desk, not me thinking, but my husband thankfully was thinking that, then how did we track you all the way to your car? My sons are thinking the same thing. Well, the lady, when he said that to her, you could tell she kind of like, oh, I don't know. And that's when he started being suspicious. And so, oh my gosh. So my husband was like, you don't know? And he said, it's kind of funny though, because it's showing that it's right here. And she goes, oh, you can check my purse. And she went to go open her trunk. And she said, you can check my car. And he goes, no, I believe you. I just want to know which desk you turned it into. And I just find it funny that it's still showing it's pinging here. And so I hit play sound. And you would have thought that a firecracker been shoved up her butt and lit on fire because she jumped so high because it started pinging inside her car. The reason she was willing to open up the trunk for us because she put it in the front seat. She had it in her purse and she was wearing this like leopard fuzzy coat because it was cold today. And that coat was so distinctive. I remember when we first got to Costco and we were trying to find the iPad, she was in the clothing section where the Costco worker was because I remember her distinctive coat. And I remember looking in her shopping cart and it was not there. So she had put it in her purse as soon as she found it in the shopping cart. And she goes running to the front of her car, and I'm like, ma'am, I hear it, it's here. And she goes and opens up her door, and she grabs it, and she goes, oh, I was going to turn it in. And as she hands it to me, I'm so still disheveled by what the heck is going on right now, that I couldn't believe this woman had lied, because she seemed like this sweet old lady. And my son said, as she handed it to me, she said, I didn't need it. You can have it. And my husband and sons were like, okay. And, we just let it go. But as long as I do have my iPad back. But if she hadn't have been if she had been a little bit faster loading her cake, we may have not have caught her. She may have gotten away with it. But my lesson has been learned that I will not take my iPad into a store unless I have it in my purse. But yeah, oh my goodness. I had other things planned to talk about today, but that is kind of taking a back seat because of all the excitement. That took 2 hours out of our day trying to catch my iPad. But anyway, one thing I did do this morning is I have gone through all of my Amazon purchases from January all the way through December and logged those into my Google Sheets. And so now I'm going to go back through the credit cards and then do my bills. I'm trying to get all the month's expenses that we did for 2024 set up and showing on a sheet for each month. And then I'm going to do comparisons as we try to do a no spend for each month. And I'll do it by percentages. So you'll see what percent of our income was spent on clothing each month, what percent was spent on groceries, what percent was spent on dining out. Or for me, the worst thing they did was put Apple Pay on vending machines at my school, and I'm scared to see what that is because I pretty much buy a Coke every day. And it would be cheaper if I just bring my own, but you know what? I think I'm going to do good, and I don't. And by the third or fourth block, I am ready for some energy, and I want Coke. So yeah, I'm afraid to see how that goes. But yeah, I am working on that so that by the time we start January, our no spend, we're going to do it month by month. But when we start our no spend month of January, I have everything so I can compare it. But yeah, what an interesting day. I'm still getting over this. It's like that energy in me is like, oh gosh. And I think my boys were so pumped. They found it like a super quest. It was like they had just been part of Legend of Zelda and were on a mission. And so I don't know how many people would have given up and just said, I'll write that off for an iPad, and just wipe there. So you can wipe your information remotely. But we were determined, and we were chasing this person down. And at one point, I think my husband and son had thought the iPad had gone past us, and so they had went out and realized it was still in the store. So they came back in, and the little guy greeter at the exit door, the one that checks your receipts, he was like, "Sir, can I help you?" And my husband says, I guess he thought he was trying to get past with a membership or whatever. But my husband said, my wife lost her iPad and we're trying to find who has it. He goes, "Oh, okay." Go about it. So it was definitely an adventure, one I do not want to repeat. But anyway, hopefully we're back to a normal video tomorrow. But I thought I would share that because it's kind of crazy. All right, you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.